Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to Algodo tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 47 of the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan, as it always is.
My name is Commander Wolf, as it always is.
And my name is Wolves, as it has always been.
Indeed.
Indeed,
and yes, guys, we
is.
are back here with our regular half host who has rigged an awesome situation with two microphones, two snowball microphones, one connected to his phone and one to his computer. If you're listening live, because he has the one connected to his phone, that one's going to sound mediocre, but on the recording, it's going to sound amazing with that nice snowball mic quality, so don't worry. It's good to have Wolves back. He's been out for a couple weeks, but MFA has certainly done an amazing job here, filling in as we move closer and closer to that Marble League 2020. Oh, I'm so excited. I could not be more excited. And the teams, judging by their social media posts, are also absolutely psyched for this season. You know? So, I don't know why I said there.
It's definitely something you should count for.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great season. And the filler of Marbula E right in the middle has been amazing. I've really enjoyed kind of the odd crossover to real life racing. Representing them with the marbles and having like real life commentators come in and get in on the fun. It's been interesting to watch, definitely. And we'll talk about the whole dual commentary situation and all that afterwards. Hope you guys are all staying safe out there. Said it for the last few episodes as we're in this weird time. We're all just kind of in our houses, kind of hoping for the best. But I know some states and stuff are starting to open back up and, try to get things moving again this summer and, try to get ready for the fall and everything. But, if you're one of those states, just be careful, all right? They're opening back up, but it doesn't mean that, it's not still out there. So still take precautions, be clean, be sanitary, but if you're not open back up yet, still find another Netflix show to binge, because certainly you got the time for that.
Got all the time in the world.
Waff, how's it been for you out in quarantine world?
For me, it's been all right. I finally finished my last final exam today at some school, nice. And I actually got to go out into a public place yesterday. I had to go to get a CAT scan, so that was the first time.
Public place.
Yeah, I know, right? It was weird. I wasn't used to procedures that people were like, oh, you gotta sanitize your hands and stuff like that. But it was a hospital, so I guess procedures are probably more strict than any other place. But
yeah, that's good to hear. It's good to hear that.
I'm glad you got to go outside for a bit.
Yeah, it's. I've been
see the outside world
with my brothers, but I wasn't like going to public places or anything like that's not my backyard. So it was nice to just get out of here.
Indeed.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. And Wolves, what about you?
I haven't been doing a lot. I've been doing some bike riding with my stepbrother. Sometimes it's just me. Main thing I'm trying to focus on is because before in school you had like a set time that you had to do PE, but now there's none of that. So you can't just do a Zoom call workout. So now it's all on my own time. And I think that's the one thing I have to stay on top of.
Yeah, definitely. Doing things on your own time you lose the motivation. Like when you're not going somewhere to do something, it's kind of like, I'm just home. I'll do it tomorrow. That kind of stuff. Ricochet, right? That didn't even fit there.
I wish I could just get fit sitting down.
Facts. Well, you could just sit down and then eat lettuce. Does that work?
Eat lettuce?
Is lettuce good for you?
I mean, it's a vegetable.
Yeah.
Too much of it is bad.
Big
The dose makes
strong?
the poison.
Anyways.
Let's get into marble sports.
This intro is definitely running longer than it needs to be. So let's get to Johnny Marble for the usual news of the week.
All right.
Put that all right out, please.
Stop.
Hello, Marble Sports fans! I am Johnny Marble, and you are listening to MSW News Segment. That right? Guys, race number 2 of Marbula E in Seoul, South Korea has arrived with a very interesting surprise, as Jack Nicholls was joined in the commentary booth by none other than Greg Woods. And guys, it was a real treat to hear these two work together as they commentated over this exciting race. And the race itself, while exciting, was also engaging. Don't overthink it. With moments such as Mahindra getting caught up at a turn and losing 2 places, especially being eye-catching. But in the end, Jaguar took first, followed by Porsche in second and Mercedes in third. Envision Virgin Racing, on the other hand, seems to have been struck by the host curse, as they once again placed last. Hopefully, though, they'll be able to get out of this funk and aim for podium finish in the next race. Well, hey guys, the news was short, but I always enjoy our time together. I've been Johnny Marble. You have been the best fans in the world. Let's take it back on and continue with the podcast.
Welcome back from the news, everybody. Thank you, Johnny Marble, again for another unbelievable segment of news. It's always nice to hear him and his excitement about the marbles. Certainly an amazing Formula. I mean, I always say Formula E. It's Marbula E. Certainly amazing Marbula E race this week, featuring both Greg and what's the name of the other guy? Greg and
Jack
I can't remember it on my
Jack
life.
Nicholson. Yes, Greg
Jack
and
Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
I keep
on
forgetting
the mic
that.
there, giving out the commentary. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that was better or worse, or what are your thoughts?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Hearing them go back and forth.
Yeah, I definitely like adding him in. What was his name? I forgot again. Was it Jack Nicholls?
Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholls.
Or Nichols. Yes, it's like
Jack
it's
Nicholls?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god,
again, just
I'm
make sure.
butchering this man's name. But yeah, I definitely like
Nichols.
adding him in because he uses a lot of the lingo and like, I don't know if he's pronouncing some things right. I assume he is. He says Nissan instead of Nissan, but I don't know about that lingo. I like adding him in because he knows a lot more about Formula E and like the drivers and who they are, and it adds more essence of like background instead of like, because Greg Woods has only interacted with like marble teams and he has background about that, but now that you have Jack Nicholson, there's a lot more that you can expand upon.
Yeah. I think that it was pretty good. I would say it wasn't my favorite thing that they've done. The combo to me kind of seemed like, hey, people in the comments want Greg Woods, so let's kind of get him back in there somehow. And to me, the commentary was kind of like, okay, taking turns. He stops talking, now this guy's going to pick up and begin talking. Jack's going to pick up, and then Jack stops, and then Greg's going to pick up. And I know kind of that's how it goes, but when I listen to like dual commentary and stuff, it always feels like, you know, it's either like a conversation between the two of them, like they're both like kind of almost like having a conversation with their commentary, or it's kind of skewed to one side where one person is doing all the play-by-play and then the other guy is designated to be the one that comes in every once in a while with the color. And I just feel like none of that was kind of worked out. Like, I mean, they're both great commenters, so I'm not bashing them at all. I think they actually did a pretty good job, especially considering it's their first time working together. But, you know, their styles are very different, and they didn't I feel like they didn't kind of ready it before it was like, okay, Greg's only going to do the color every once in a while Jack does the play-by-play. They both kind of took turns with that. So, I mean, I guess based on experience that I've seen with dual commentary, I kind of wish it was more like separated like that, where it was obvious that they both had roles as opposed to like, oh, we just want both of their voices there to satisfy all our fans. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that, but it certainly seemed to me like it was good, but it was a little bit forced, maybe.
So to you, they were just like sharing like one or two roles instead of like having like different like or separate things that they were going to talk about or like focus on. They kind of just like blended in, like taking turns, and there was no like separate piece to them.
It was kind of like what they said, how they did it. It was kind of like one person could have easily have done the same thing, you know? And I feel when you have dual commentary, the point of dual commentary is, oh, we have two people, and the two people are adding more to the commentary, more to the sport than just if we had one. So, you know, like if you think about baseball and stuff, baseball is a very complex game. So the reason they have 2, even 3 commentators, because it's like, okay, this one guy, it has all he can do to focus on the play-by-play, and keep track of where all the runners are on base and where all the people are in the field and all that's going on. And the other guy, because the play-by-play guy is all he can do that, the other guy is the one who's studying the stats of all the hitters to kind of, throw out some predictions like, oh, I think this hitter's going to be good against this guy's fastball, that kind of stuff. And it does add more to have the dual commentary, because if you just had the one by play-by-play guy, he wouldn't have the time or the ability to kind of come up with all those extra analytics. With this racing, it was more like, Jack would be like, oh, and this marble takes the lead, blah, 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 blah. Then he would stop, and Greg would be like, oh, and he's going around this curve really well. It was kind of like they picked up where each other's left off, kind of like finishing each other's sentences almost, as opposed to like, one was really studying the analytics, and the other one was really doing the play-by-play. So, I don't know. I feel like it's good, but it's like you kind of get the impression at least for me, they kind of get the impression they were trying to, just get Greg Wood's voices in there, because a lot of people in the comments were saying that, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of get that, because I see... Yeah. Oh, sorry.
First off, it is Jack Nichols, Nichols. It's
my mistake.
Nicholson is a common name, and so it's easy to mix them up, but it's Jack Nichols. And then a second, I do understand what you're saying here. Like, I my experience with dual commentators is not a whole lot, so, but like I suppose like I never could tell if like maybe there was a reason like there probably is a reason like for dual commentators, like you need someone to focus on different things. Like at least in marching band for me, for instance, like I know like there are like for at least at high school level there's like 3 judges, and like at professional level there's like 5, and each of them focus on different aspects, and that's because there's so much happening in a marching band show that you need someone to focus on different aspects of each one to make sure that they catch everything. And I guess like that could apply to racing and other sports as well. Like you need commentators to look at every aspect. But I guess it's at least for me, maybe it's harder to I guess notice that for me at least, because like on TV the camera's always focused on one spot. So it's like, but the commentators I think are watching it. They're watching it live, and I think they can see probably more of the actual game. So, but I don't know. It's an interesting situation I would give you, but I think maybe another aspect that we need to consider is these marble races are significantly shorter than the Formula E races, at least as far as I'm aware. And so like there's not as much time for banter or discussion between, like they have to kind of be on top of things, make sure that they're catching everything that's happening. And so there's not as many opportunities to have more unique conversations between the two people.
And that's even more like at a point that kind of goes along with the debate of should commentary for marble sports be voiced over after many viewing over and over, or genuine commentary reaction. You don't know what's going to happen, and you just start it, and like Greg Woods does, you just watch it and do it like genuinely from scratch, right? And I mean, I feel like, listen, I'm all about genuine, not watching it before you do commentary, because I think the genuine reaction is what makes the marble sport so much more interesting. Greg like freaking out, That's how some of the marbles doing, and being like, oh, look at that, I didn't expect that, that kind of stuff. And that reaction is what kind of pulls people in. But in this case with the dual commentary, I feel like maybe watch it through, maybe a quick watch through to kind of see what's going to happen and know what stats and analytics would be important through the race. Maybe that would not be a bad idea with the double commentary. Now, they might have even done that. I don't know. I don't think they did. But that might...
I don't think they did. Like, they seem pretty genuine. Like, with, I can't, who was, I think it was, who was it, I can't remember the marble, but they got stuck on the railing, the turn guard or guide, and like they just completely lost all momentum. And they both like had a very genuine like, oh no, shoot.
Yeah, I heard that where they both kind of overlapped there with the reaction, which I thought was really good. Those points were actually really nice, where they reacted together. But it's kind of like they settled back into their awkward structure after they did that. They almost were trying to suppress the genuineness. Yeah,
I believe the marble was Mahindra that got caught up.
Oh, was it? Yeah, it was. You're right. It was Mahindra.
Yeah.
It dropped quite a few places, and that's like a side note for me, because the actual drivers of these teams are like obviously watching this, so I wonder what their reactions would be to
that's
see
a good
their
point.
own team like fall behind.
I would love to see a reaction series from the racers, like watching the videos. I think that'd be great.
That would be so cool. They'd be like, "Oh, I would never do that in real life," or "This sounds like Envision Virgin Racing."
Yeah, like an aftermath show of just like them talking about their marble.
Yeah, honestly,
like doing the interviews.
Yeah, dude, I should try to get in contact with one of them, see if they want to come on the podcast. That'd be cool.
I would love to see like a real Formula E driver get pissed about their marble losing, because you have to think of Envision, right? Like they hit like last place, but they started pretty good.
They did,
but like I wonder what their driver is feeling, and like they did comment a little bit on that, like, oh, I don't know exactly what it was, but like, oh, like he's not going to be very happy about that, like when watching the marble. And I think that's hilarious to see what their reactions would probably be.
Oh, indeed, yeah. That I would love to see that series, of them kind of reacting to it. Yeah, I'm sure they're watching it. That got to be really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I could not mention something that I thought was great is the on marble camera, like from the driver's perspective. That was hilarious. I love that.
Right, the driver's perspective,
driver view,
the driver's eye, the driver's eye.
Yeah, driver's eye. I was gonna talk about that. It's hilarious.
It's great. It's amazing. I love it so much.
That was, oh my god.
And Jack Nichols and Greg Woods just play it off and that was driver's eye, and then they just go back. They don't talk anything about it. Like, oh, I guess we're not gonna see anything.
Dude, I wanted some kind of satirical remark, like, oh well, couldn't really see much there, kind of thing. Just a short little thing, because I feel like the driver's eye thing was well, at least should have been played off as more of like a funny thing, because it's kind of like, all right,
I thought it was already.
We're getting that driver's view thing. But I mean, evidently, you're not really going to be able to tell what's going on because, well,
yeah, they should have added a bit more comedic effect to it.
Yeah, but I feel like it would be so cool if they could figure out a way to actually kind of have some camera seeming to track the marble rolling, but actually get that driver's eye, like not a rolling perspective, but a real perspective. That would be really cool. But I think that'd be very complex.
Well, yeah, I think it would be borderline impossible, but it's an interesting idea. I think it'd be fun to see how it works.
Implant cameras in the marbles. Honestly, though, I mean, the outside of a camera is glass, so I mean, like, kind of plant it in the marble there. I mean, that would. But then again, you would still get the rolling thing. You wouldn't be able to have the straight.
Yeah.
Oh wait, wait. How did they do that? By the way, that's a question I have in my mind. How did they get that rolling effect? If you look at it
closely, it's just like an effect. Like I think they. It almost looked like they
was
just
it drawn out, or was it pictures? Like
it looked like I had a picture that just kind of like flashed downwards, like flashed through like a bunch of times over and over and over again.
And they applied like the fisheye a lens effect.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
because making it like. It's not impossible to have a hollow sphere and put a camera in it. Like I'm pretty sure those like toys or something or objects you could use to do that. But that's significantly more difficult and more costly than just doing a cool little effect. Because you
can make an effect that makes it look like exactly like that. So I'm sure they did that, because that would be incredible work if they were not going to do that, and for that short clip.
Right.
Well, I can't wait to see more driver's eye in the future.
more unclear rolling perspective, right? But no, I love it. I love the extra touch that they keep. It's like every video, it's like one little touch, one little extra thing they're putting in there just to try to, just to play with the fans, and it's great. It's just awesome. Oh yes, of course. If you have a trivia question and you're in the live right now, you can of course send it in to me, and we will do it during the trivia segment. For those who have trivia questions, I'll always accept them. Anyways. Maybe we should, did anyone else have anything else to say about Marbula E? Of course, we know Envision, again, got 12th place, and Dragon, Pole Sitter, dropped all the way to 9th, which was, both of them commented on the atrocious start.
Yeah, Dragon just fell immediately, and that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and...
he just swung too much to the outside, he lost all that momentum, everyone just passed him. But one thing I do want to add just before we get off is the final chicane. And I think that's one thing that we should focus on because of how many lead changes that caused. Because that final chicane, if you were too far on the inside, you would get a bad start and you'd lose all your momentum, and it was really easy for people to pass you.
Oh, was it like the final thing where it was the curve and then it snaked real quick to the left and then went to the finish line? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, the final chicane, it was like that squiggly line.
That was... it was almost impossible for a marble to approach that to where they would not hit that inside part of the last snake, because they would come around the curve. They would be normally on the outside line, sometimes on the inside maybe, and they would slam into that little elbow sticking part that comes out, and it would be a huge lead. Not like a lead difficulty, but more like a ground loss for them, so you could slow down a lot. I mean, fortunately for them, it was right at the elevator, so the elevator's kind of the great equalizer. All marbles are dead stopped at that point, but definitely it was kind of like, I mean, if that was in the middle of the track, that'd be huge ground loss. But definitely at the end, it kind of took all the momentum away, especially from that back straight.
Yeah, you have to have all your momentum to the offside to the outside of the track, or else you're not going to be able to carry it through.
Indeed. Yeah. In any event, do we want to advance? Do we want to go to the trivia right now, or do we want to talk about a few first?
Trivia?
Yeah, early for trivia, but we might want to jump right into it. All right, let's do it. Let's get to the trivia. One of the earliest trivias we've ever done. We're only about 15 minutes in, but... I think it's
Is it the earliest trivia?
I feel like there's one that started 10 minutes into a discussion before.
I feel like one of the first couple of trivias we did, we started it earlier because it was new, but I feel like I think this could be one of the earlier ones, definitely.
It's just like,
so
I'm bored, let's do trivia.
Cue that music that I never hear, but it's put in post-production. Is it cued? Is it going? I hope you guys heard it. I'm assuming it was already heard, and now I'm talking, and it sounds stupid, even though the music was already heard in the recording. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that.
Now it's time for the trivia segment. Come on now, let's go, go, go. Go, go, go.
And let's get right into the trivia. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because mine's probably the easiest one because I literally just came up with it. So... On the topic of Envision Virgin Racing, for the second race, how they started off good, but then they ended poorly, as we all know, in last place. Now, my question is, how many places did they drop from their starting position?
Bro, that's extremely close to my question. So, I'm gonna guess. Wait, let me see. Wait, how many places are there?
There's 12.
There's 12?
Oh, it's 7. Mm-hmm. I think 7. I remember that one.
Yeah, it's 7.
Or maybe it might have been 6. All right, try 7. We'll try 7.
All right, the answer is 6.
Oh, damn it! I said 6, and then I went back to 7.
Yeah, they were in they were in 6th place before before the race started.
Ah, so close.
Oh, I thought it was 5th, but I figured they must have dropped down one more. Damn,
I was close. Guessed 5. Everybody, this happened I think last week. Everybody guessed the number just above and just below one of the questions.
Indeed.
Dang, I was close.
Yeah, I thought it was 7 too.
Yeah, both me and Marble Guy were like, we got this down. It's probably 7.
I watched the video right before.
Boom, curveball.
And then forgot. Boom.
All right, we could do my question next.
Ricochet.
All right.
Go ahead.
So again, for Envision Racing, they came in last. So what was the highest spot that they were able to achieve?
Oh, like overall, I guess like without finishing. I think they got up to.
I want to say fourth.
I want to say fifth.
Fourth and fifth. Is that your final answers?
Sure.
Yes.
The answer is 5.
Oh, nice. Boom.
They were able to
I
achieve
figured
5.
like if they started in 6th at one time, they would probably have jumped up at least one place for a second, and then
How do you
lost
go
it.
so far behind? Like,
I don't know.
Envision is the new Limers, bro.
Shut
I mean,
up.
like-
No, that was the Limers again. We don't need that. Is Limers blasphemy? Stop with that.
I mean, Gold Piston was in 10th through most of the final race of Marble Circuits, and then they shot up to first at the end.
Yeah, I know that was
Or
to
second
me-
place.
It
That was
was
second.
it was the opposite of
comeback.
Envision.
Yeah. So it can
Speaking
happen.
of that, Waf, you just reminded me. One of the other things we can talk about with Fubica today, I put out a feedback form on the races. So, I asked like feedback questions, but some of the other things that asks were like, who was the best Coach Marble, who had the best
Right.
rivalry and stuff. So we can actually talk about those too later.
Yes, later. Let's get
Yes.
let's get
Thank
to
you.
Keyword later.
I'm aware of that. My question.
Yes.
Submitted by Marbles for Autism, our favorite backup half host. Which marbles have been last in the past 2 Marbula E races? So like, what do you mean which marbles? Like more than just Envision?
I think he
Racing,
just
or
meant
all of
which
them?
marble.
I think because it's Envision. It's
Envision.
It is indeed Envision.
is Envision.
Envision for all
Racing.
3 questions.
Oh my! So, this is okay. They're like infamous. Like they're not the top, but they're so far below that everyone's talking about them. That's what we all
Like-
focus on.
Yeah.
I think it's because everybody else like because we don't know these teams we're this is their second race for crying out loud.
Yeah, and it's hard to
Yeah.
it's not the same as the other marbles teams. It's not the same as the Savage Beaters out there. I still like the whole thing with like the partnership. I mean, I think it's more for publicity than it is for, it's good quality, but Savage Beaters. I want to see the Savage Beaters race against BMW. I almost would have loved if they crossed it over, like pick 6 of the 6 Marbula E racers and the top 6 teams from Marbula 1 and kind of put them together like, okay, let's see how our veteran marble racers do against the real deal out there in Formula E. That would have been really cool, I feel. Because then you had your favorite fan favorite teams out there plus the new guys.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but I think I still like the main focus of the real teams because say that you did add like the Marbula 1 teams, you wouldn't have a lot of room for like other teams that we probably wouldn't have seen. Like you would have had to cut about half of the Marbula E. Yeah, Marbula
Just
E.
have Savage
racers.
Beaters.
Just have Savage Beaters.
Only Savage Beaters versus all the Marbula E.
Showdown.
The heck?
Who would win that? Who would win?
I think actually the Savage Beaters have a really good chance. I mean, I don't know if Savage Beaters would get first in that. I think they have a good shot at top 5, definitely though.
Yeah.
We've only seen these racers race 2 races, so it's kind of
Exactly, but like from my
We'll
my
find
first
out in the
impressions-
future.
Yeah. From that
Hopefully
first
we can have one of
though,
our
I mean, some of these
community
racers
members.
make some good cuts, but they don't really have that pure speed that the Savage Beaters have. They don't like no marble
Speed.
in Marbula E really had that get out in front and stay out in front kind of moment. There was always a chance that they were going to drop back into the pack, and
Yeah, they were always out in front until they weren't.
Yeah, exactly, and that might mean that all the racers are so fast that they're just all so good that there's no one going to separate themselves, or it might mean there's not someone who really has that pure speed like the Savage Beaters do.
Pure speed.
Exactly. So
I
I
think
think,
it's the speed slowly. I always think of like Lightning McQueen every time.
I am speed.
honestly though,
I keep thinking of that like Lightning McQueen meme where like his face is distorted.
I don't know the one you're talking about.
You don't? I'll have to send it to you after.
All
Pretty
right.
cool.
yeah.
Alright,
But what other
so-
topics do we have to talk about? Because we have
Well,
Glass
first of all,
Mob
We
that
have,
I
to,
want
we
to
have
talk
to
about.
wrap up the trivia. Whoa, hold
Trivia-
your horses there, half host who's been gone for 4 weeks. All right.
Excuse me.
Wow.
I'm desensitized
Look at
from
him
everything.
going, steamrolling, savage speeding. Raspberry Racing into the next segment of the podcast before
And
we wrap
it's
up the trivia.
done. Let's go back to the show.
You can't hurt me with your puns, Brendan.
Damn.
I've gained an immunity.
Ricochet. So, but anyways, yeah, let's jump right back into the show. Cue the ending trivia music. Do we have that still? Good. Boom. There you go. Boom. Oh crap! I have to pause. Pause.
That was the trivia segment. Now let's head back to the show. The show. Oh.
Back come the trivia. Hey, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, so you mentioned like you had stuff from a poll like that you took that you could use.
Yes.
I guess
Let's jump into Fubica, but before we do the look at the poll and see some of the interesting things from that, I do want to comment on a couple Fubica things. If you haven't seen Fubica's newest video, go check it out. Highly recommend. Even if you're not a big Fubica racing fan, this is just a really cool Marble Sports advancement. 3 minutes long, and he kind of showcases, I think it's like about halfway through the video, he actually shows a good clip of it. He showcases this interesting self-propulsion or propulsion device for marbles that would oppose the elevator. Instead of the elevator, you'd have this. And I just think it's so cool. It's kind of like this device, and I guess I don't know how exactly it works, but I think it's like these two.
It's like the Hot Wheels thing where like there are two rubber spinners and then you put the car in and it shoots out, or like a football launcher. It's also like a football launcher, except it's
yeah.
Except it's like horizontal.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, it's kind of like you got two. You just
high
got,
spinning
two
wheels, like cylinders.
Wheels. They're more like bars that are spinning, and the marbles go underneath, and they get shot out at high speeds, where they'll have a lot of momentum for a long distance.
Wait,
At
it goes
first, when I
underneath
saw
that
the
conveyor
video,
belt?
sorry.
I thought sorry. I thought that the marbles were on top of the little conveyor belt and they get launched. That's what I thought I saw.
There's two bars, so the one bar is on the top spinning and one bar is on the bottom spinning. So it's like, you go through them and the bars push the marble through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's so simple too. It's only a couple bars and like a motor.
Yeah, I don't know. This is probably just me because I'm stupid, but when I was watching the video, it showed like the bars, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder what that's gonna be for." And then Fubica showed the marbles launching, and I was like, "Wait, how's it doing that?" Like, I didn't pick it up right away. I was like, "This is black magic. It has to be." Like, what's propelling this marble? And I was like, "Oh wait, it's the thing."
Yeah. I also obviously there's some concerns with that because, well, if marbles go into that propulsion device a little bit awkwardly or they're colliding and stuff, is it going to shoot them as fast? Is it going to get them over that uphill battle necessary?
That would make it exciting.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like there would be that aspect of, that's unfair if a marble rolls all the way back down and hopefully it doesn't get stuck. I have a feeling that it's built though that if a marble doesn't make it all the way up, it would roll back down and then get shot up again super fast or something like that.
Yeah, he could put like an overhang wood plank so that if it does shoot up, it'll just bounce back down. But it would be hard for like the marble not to lose momentum if it did do that.
Yeah, that's true. But more like just there is that unfair aspect of, okay, if the marble doesn't make it up the first time, it rolls back down. And that's like, that wouldn't happen in real racing. Like, it would always be going forward. So,
well, it could be like a flat tire.
Sure, I guess so. I guess it's the marble's fault. I guess it's your fault if you can't make it up the little hill. But on the other side of the coin, if it's too fast, so it will never fail. Like, the marbles will always make it up the hill. Then if a marble goes into it too fast, then it might just shoot so far that it might be all the way down to the other end of the track before the momentum from that propulsion thing wears off. And that also would be a negative too, because it's like, it's almost simulated speed for half it. I don't know what I think about that. If you get the right balance, I think it could be cool. Waff, did you take a look at that? Did you see that on Fubica's channel?
I did, and it was interesting. It definitely is better than I guess slowing down the momentum. It's nice that it keeps it going, and I'm hoping that I guess the next time that Marble Circuits and Marbula 1 come around, they'll find ways to do their own sort of more efficient propulsion technique. Not sure if whether it be the same technique or like another one, like a air pressure or Hot Wheels launchers, whatever you want to do. Like as long as it does something. Like as long as I would like to see that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, as far as fairness, by the way, I think like that's like the biggest aspect of this situation. Like, is it fair? You know, I feel like it's as fair as the conveyor belt, and the reason I say is because if the conveyor belt, every time the marble goes around, it has momentum, and then when it hits the conveyor belt, it stops momentum. So the conveyor belt is, you know, while it's not shooting the marble forward, it is just stopping it dead. So I feel like this device, if it works correctly, if it doesn't have a lot of mishaps and, you know, shooting the marble off the course or not shooting it far enough most of the time, that kind of stuff, then it actually is pretty fair because it is rewarding the marble a little bit more for a higher momentum when crossing that finish line. And it also is, you know, it's kind of maintaining that speed and adding to the speed. It's not like a dead stop. So I actually think that this is more fair in a sense than the conveyor belt. It's just, is it going to work consistently? That's really the question for me.
Well, I don't know, because like, let's say the marble goes like all the way to the side. If it has to go through like something that narrows down so it can actually go into the track. So it's a lot harder to like, if you're all the way on the outside, even if you're in first, you're gonna have to lose so much momentum. Versus like somebody in second is like right in the middle, is able to just go straight into the spinning bars.
But wouldn't that be like a marbles problem? Like it wouldn't be fair enough. Like, oh, you have to stay in the middle.
That'd be the marble's fault for steering off to the right or to the left instead of going more towards the center.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that can work.
Yeah. Oh, and also the track for this particular event, GlassCar, by the way, it's called. Get it? GlassCar, NASCAR, ha. It's going to be wider. He actually is hand building the tracks from wood, which looks cool. It's unbelievable. Neat. I think did I post a picture in here? I forget. In the Discord? I forget. By the way, if you're not in the Discord, the Marble Sports Worldwide Discord, join it up. It's in the comments, in the description of the video or the platform that you listen on, probably. So join it up.
Actually, it's only been in, I think, the description of the YouTube channel. So, Brendan, if you want to make sure that our other listeners can get it, you might want to put that in Anchor and stuff.
I'm doing the absolute 100% best I can there, Wolf.
It's really just pasting the link in the description.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed that. We will obviously, you know, take care of that for you guys. We will get to it. Don't worry about that.
If assuming he forgets it, which this is Brendan talking about it, you might just look us up on YouTube and you'll find it.
Calling me like a Momo, forgettable Momo.
You're just making that up. Where did forgettable Momo come from?
I just made that
seriously.
Up. Ricochet.
I think the ones who are forgettable are jungle jumpers because they slept through an entire event. So if anyone's forgetful,
oops, man's gonna hate you for that.
Yeah, this man's not here right now. Yeah,
it's facts.
He'll never know.
ML facts number 102. The jungle jumpers are the most forgetful team.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the feedback thing, because a bunch of people didn't know this, but it looks like he's building his own track. I just took a look at this in the server. Yeah. I think this is it here. I'll post it for you guys. If you're, of course, listening on the recording, join the Discord and you can see it. It's kind of, I'll describe it to you. It's kind of like this. It looks kind of a tannish track. It's kind of, imagine the marble drum track, but I think it's about twice as wide, I would say. And so it's
twice
kind
as
of
wide?
like,
I guess I would need perspective, I guess, like something to measure
you would need some perspective, but it is definitely much wider than the marble drum track. I think probably about at least 1.5 times as wide.
Okay.
You can see that it looks to be made from wood. It's, you know, the tan and stuff. So, and it has like the nice barriers. It's a really nice looking piece of track.
It is.
I feel like you could sell that. It made me happy to see how nicely made it. I don't know how he did that, honestly.
Yeah, it'd be cool if he painted it too, like to get like maybe because like while the brown is not actually that bad of an aesthetic, like kind of like that homemade look. To make it more professional, maybe like painting it black or like asphalt color, or maybe like adding just something like kind of. I know this is probably just like this prototype. He's just making sure that it works first.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think I would say either like a black or even a white. Go with some sort of white, or like go with his colors, because his colors is like green, orange, and black. So maybe some of that. I don't know, but certainly is it's really cool. I like the extra mile that he's going to at least build his own track to try to separate it from the fact that marble circuits is kind of the same thing. Let's keep that in mind, and to try to at least be a little bit unique in that aspect.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyways, oh yes, the poll. I was
about to say, like, did we go over the poll yet? And I just completely zoned out, or did...
Yeah. I was trying to remember what it is that I had in store. So yeah, definitely go check that out. I'm really excited to see how the propulsion thing works. I'm hoping it works, because if it doesn't work, he'll probably default back to a conveyor belt, and I don't want that because that's not as fun. But yeah, we should talk about this Fubeca poll and maybe give our responses to what we actually think we would put for this. We can live chat. You can get in on this if you want. Mm-hmm. So let's just dive right in. So the first question, and maybe it would be fun if you guys tried to guess what was the most answered, what was the highest percent answered, because 390 people responded to this poll for Fubeca, which is
dang.
Yeah, it wasn't even advertised in the videos. It was in the community tab and in the Discord. So we got a lot of people wanting to give feedback.
A lot of peoples.
So you can try to guess to see which one had the highest percentage vote from all the community. So let's get right into it. Marble Circuits fan poll. Question 1. What was the most exciting of the 12 races? 1 through 12 are your options.
I voted in this as well, but like I guess I'll say it here. But it was 12 easy for me. Like, it was the most exciting. It had the rain lasted for more than one lap. Like it was a tense race. Like there was a lot of comebacks, a lot of disappointments too. Like it was the best race.
I have to agree on Waff there, just because since it was the final race, there was a lot more building up to it rather than just the first race where you're just being introduced to a lot of the racers and like how they're going to do, and you're just seeing everything out. But as races go on, you are more invested in like what's going on and like how it's going to turn out. So when it's the final race, it's like this is going to like make or break what my favorite team is going to like win or not. So you're very focused on it.
Yeah. 12 for I didn't put 12 for this, believe it or not. I can't remember, I think I put race 8, the second gold piston victory, because if you go back to that race, first of all, I think that was one of my best commentary jobs, bar the confusion with Fast Pins and Sparky, which was, I was ripped up in the comments about that one, but I got over that. I improved. Besides the mistakes I made as far as naming the marbles, to me that was one of my best commented races, and because it was one of the most exciting races. You had gold piston, you had peppers, you had pink pearl, all in the top 3, and like you see at the end, it was gold piston and peppers lost out to gold piston for first place by 0.005 seconds. That's 5 thousandths. I always have trouble with thousandths. That word is tough. 5 thousandths of a second. That was, to me, the most exciting race. The last 2 races for me, while they were exciting because it was building up, of course, it was more focused on the overall pointage. If you put those races at the beginning, they wouldn't have been that exciting because, of the clear winner. They kind of established themselves for most of the races in both of those races. But the fact that they were to the end is what they made them so exciting. Like, will Pink Pearl keep the lead that long? Will Gold Piston hold the lead? Last couple of races, Arrow Frog in race 11 comes out of nowhere, and Gold Piston's in trouble. But for me, it was race 8. And for the poll, for the majority, it was by a 54.6% majority. It was definitely race 12 for them. The second place for this one, I'll try to get like the second and third. Oh yeah. Second place was race 8 with 7.7%. Third place was, I believe, race 3 with 5.9%, and fourth place was race 11 with 5.6%. So there you have it, guys. That's that. Definitely 12 won it over. Here's a good one coming up next year. Which marble?
Actually, I just want to clarify. Like, what race were you talking about that was your favorite? Like, 'cause I thought you said 2, but then you're talking about peppers and gold piston, and like, wait a minute,
8.
what race?
8.
8. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2. To be honest, for me, the first 5 were not that great because I was still trying to figure out how to comment, and he was figuring out how to build good tracks. So it was kind of like this whole mix of confusion almost.
Yeah. All right, but, sorry I interrupted. Let's move on to the next question.
Yep. So yeah, so for this one, which marble fought the hardest over the 12 races? And your answer choices are Sea Turtles, Pink Pearl, Peppers, or Gold Piston. Give your thoughts, and also who you think
Wait, say it
had
again?
the majority here. Sea Turtles, Pink Pearl, Peppers, and Gold Piston.
I can't remember who I said. I either said Sea Turtles because they had it rough quite a bit towards the end there, or Pink Pearl because Pink Pearl started out good and then also had it rough, but then was fighting and then that final race, Pink Pearl needed that win to take that first place, and so it was a very hard fought victory for Pink Pearl.
I think just for me, I think Gold Piston really fought pretty hard just because of the last race and how far he pushed, and he was able to do pretty well in the last race, and I think that takes a lot of power to do.
Yeah. I saw something interesting. We viewed Gold Piston in two different ways. I viewed it as Gold Piston was the threat to Pink Pearl, whereas
The threat.
You were viewing Gold Piston was at a disadvantage and was fighting to get that first place. And that's so interesting. It just depends on how you who you're rooting for. It can completely change your perspective on something. For a Gold Piston fan, it's oh man, they got such a lot of ground to make up. Oh, they're so close to winning it if they get the top prize. Whereas Pink Pearl's oh no, if they lose this, then they don't get the first place. You gotta do it good. It's
I like the voices you did for the marbles.
Yeah, I love how stressed you get over their racing.
This probably is something that should be obvious, but I don't know. It's something I never really thought about. But that's just it's just an interesting aspect of of sports in general, but also that can be applied to marble sports too. Yeah.
I certainly agree. It certainly seemed, based off the first few races, it seemed like a Sea Turtles Pink Pearl race situation. It was their game, and definitely some people probably saw it as Gold Piston kind of ruining the fun coming up there and taking the victories, even Peppers. But for me, I think I put Gold Piston for this one because it was just his ability to come back late in the game, take two races in a row. Before those two races, he had a third place. You're talking 11th place, fought hard to get first place again, and he went from one of the worst performing marbles in the first few races to the overall leader before race 12. So to me, that was the hardest fought. When I look at Sea Turtles, I kind of see Sea Turtles differently. I don't see it him fighting hard because he struggled, but him being very lazy, doing so well at first, but then kind of slacking off and So I put Gold Piston for that one.
Yeah, that's another instance of difference of perspective. Depending on how you view it, it's Sea Turtles is now suddenly struggling, whereas you is no, Sea Turtles is getting lazy. It's all about perspective, I guess.
It's what you make of it.
Yeah. But let's see what the fans as a whole made of it. It seems like they made of it Pink Pearl for the hardest fought out of the 43% majority here, followed by Gold Piston with a 25.9, and then Sea Turtles actually beat out Peppers with a 15.9. No, wait, did I say that right? Pink Pearl. Yeah, Pink Pearl is the hardest fought, 43.1. So she did fight hard, and Gold Piston certainly came up right afterwards with that hardest fought. But move on to the next one here. This one was one of my favorite questions. Best rivalry. List the two competitors in this form, Marble 1, Marble 2. I don't know why I read that part of the question. We're just talking about it. But best rivalry in the marble circuits. Go.
Oh, what were the options, though?
You list them. You list the two. You type it out.
I didn't really focus on a lot of the rivalries, so I wouldn't have anything to pick.
I think I said it was Pink Pearl and Sea Turtles because just from the get-go, they were the two biggest contenders for most of the I think the first half of the season. And then the other rivalry I said was Gold Piston and Pink Pearl, I think, as well, actually, again. Because they're the ones who were or actually, what did I say that? I can't remember who my second one was. I think it might have been Pink. I think I said Gold Piston was somebody, and I think it was Pink Pearl again, but I'm not sure. I don't remember who my second rivalry was. What about you, Wolves?
I like I said, I didn't really have like a specific rivalry that I focused on. I just kind of like see how the different marbles interact with each other. Like rivals would come and go because like there was the change in like places and standings that all the marbles were. It was really hard to pinpoint like a certain set of marbles that like had a continuous rivalry with each other.
Yeah. For me, it was definitely Pink Pearl and Sea Turtles, and only because the heated battle they exhibited for the first like 6 races, going back and forth for first place, kind of owning the whole competition, that was kind of sealed it for me. And in the last race, you saw Sea Turtles up in third for a while, even though he was slacking off a little bit. He definitely showed it there, trying to come up, trying to beat Pink Pearl, just couldn't close the door. And they actually, even when they started to, Pink Pearl and Sea Turtle started to struggle a little bit, they definitely held those top 2 overall spots first to reach triple digits in the points, all that stuff. So to me, they were definitely the biggest rivalry. You could argue for some of the other ones, I guess, but some people say Peppers and Gold Piston. I mean, maybe a little bit. I guess race 8 kind of really showed a nice rivalrous situation there, but it wasn't as that was like the second most said thing. Pink Pearl and Sea Turtles was the highest response, followed by Peppers Gold Piston. And then you got other people saying, Pink Pearl and Black Pirate. I don't know where that one came from. That one was kind of weird.
I remember, I think Black Pirate was the other part of the rivalry I mentioned, but I don't know who the opponent was in that rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said Fast Pins, and every marble that caught credit for what Fast Pins did, which is a jab at me for messing up Fast Pins. Because it makes a lot of sense to pick 4 marbles that look exactly the same, respectively, and put them in the same race. Yes, comment section of YouTube, that it's my fault, all right? It's definitely my fault. That doesn't make any sense, all right? Yes, some of you did acknowledge, though, that they were stupid, that the 4 marbles look similar. Right. So thank you for that. But for the people that 100% said it was my fault, I don't understand that. I'm color. What? Shit. All right. Ricochet. Okay. Just continue.
No.
Someone wrote something in Russian. Let me try to read it. I can understand Russian letters, but I don't know these words. He says, Razovi zhenchig I zolotoy porshin. Makes sense of that one, Russian guys. Someone just said Pink Pearl. The best rivalry is just Pink Pearl, no other marbles. Someone just said Black Pirate. Someone said IDK. That was probably Wolves. Someone said Pink Pearl 1, Gold Piston 2. Obviously took the directions too literally. Someone said Fast Pins and Sparky. I guess if you were really studying the middle of the pack, maybe that was happening. Someone said Sea Turtles, Pink Pearl, Arrow Frog, and Big Dogs. Oh, in the Discord, yes. In the Fubeka Discord, Arrow Frogs and Big Dogs were definitely the most talked about competitors for some reason. Someone just put a bunch of emojis, just pained emojis that were in pain. That I don't... Sure. Loose Wheel versus Sparky. I don't agree with that one. None and none. A lot of cool answers here. Night Rivers and Momonas. Not bad. They were middle of the pack marbles. They were probably going at it a little bit in there. Someone just put all caps Sea Turtles. Just Sea Turtles. That's the rivalry. And someone and so on and so forth. Let's just say. So definitely a lot of great range of answers there. Wolf says his phone is only on 5%, so we gotta definitely continue with the podcast quickly here. Anyways, let's go forward. We'll do a few more here, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. This was an interesting question. I put this here just because I wanted to get an idea of the aesthetic that the races gave. But the question, which was the most boring of the races?
I think I said it was race 6.
Why race 6?
Wasn't that the one with the fidget spinner?
I think 7.
There was 7. Whichever one was the fidget spinner.
Might have been 6.
Whichever one had the fidget spinner was the one I thought was the most boring, just because the fidget spinner kind of messed up the... It was a close tie between that one and the race that came, I think, immediately afterward, which was the Monaco race, which completely did away with all the track variety almost.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have to be honest. I wasn't a big fan of that either.
Unfortunately, he at least brought back that thicker black piece that he used a few times, but still, it was a shame that there was no more longer mixed track types.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of it too. I wanted him to like really do it well too, and like kind of show that mix throughout the whole track. But maybe it was just too hard. I don't know. But for me, I think I said 1 just because 1 was, well, in my opinion, my worst commentary. And also, the marbles fell off the elevator. It was all narrow track, so it wasn't much passing.
Yeah, I guess bad. Like from that perspective, I probably should have said 1. Yeah, I guess 1 was probably the worst of them. But like, you give a pass generally for like the first thing of anything, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Wolves, what do you think on that?
For me, I do too also say the first race, but not for the same reason. I think all of the Fubeca races, Marbula 1 races, like all Marbula races are pretty cool for me. I just like watching them race and how it will affect them in the future. But the only reason why I think I would probably pick 1 is because I wasn't really engaged in like who the different racers were. But because usually for me, as I go forward when I watch marble racing, I become more engaged and like more invested in different drivers or racers, like, or marbles that you could say. So usually it's the first race for me that's the most boring because I don't really know any of the racers, how they usually do, how they're supposed to do. But further on, I'll eventually be more engaged.
True. Yeah. Like, as the end comes near and the top competitors establish themselves, you start to get into it more. Like, even if the race itself is not that exciting, you want to see, how good your favorite marble can do and stuff. That's why Gel rose in popularity as each year went on. I mean, obviously his content always got better, but it was also like fans from last year, like, I want to see the Rangers do again this year. They kept the same team reoccurring was a big deal. So. Yeah, definitely. I said 1 as well. Like I said, the majority of the fans said number 1, followed by number 2 as a second place. It was like 28% number 1, 12 number 2, and then like I think 11 people didn't like 11, and people didn't like 7.
Ooh. I wonder what happened at 11 that caused people to dislike it.
I think it was because it was kind of boring, actually. The only exciting part was really when Gold Piston actually lost that 5-second lead to Arrow Frog. And had to struggle at the last few laps to gain it back. I tried to make it interesting, the commentary, like, is anyone going to catch Gold Piston? Oh, that kind of stuff. But
who knows?
The idea. Yeah, who knows? Wait and see after this commercial break.
Yeah, dominant competitions are never as fun. Like it's always when there's a challenge and potential, I guess, loss that things are interesting. So when it's just one marble dominating the entire race, it's not very fun.
No, yeah. Unless it's reoccurring and way too much. Like if let's say like Pink Pearl was dominating 3 races in a row, then it starts to get exciting because it's like, can she continue to dominate? Kind of like if you ever watch baseball and you're like, for the first 6 innings, if it's a pitcher's duel and like no one's even given up a hit, it's kind of boring. But once you get to inning 7 and the pitcher has not given up a hit, you're like, oh my God, is he going to do it? Is he going to get the perfect game? Is he going to continue? And then every batter is like the super suspenseful, nervous kind of time. It's like, oh my God, is this going to be the one that breaks through? So it definitely is, domination is something that is not, it's boring at first, but it gets exciting when it's been going on so long that the excitement is how much longer, it's ridiculous almost sometimes, how much longer can this go on? So for me, that was it didn't happen too much. I feel like that kind of excitement kind of came with Pink Pearl versus Sea Turtles, who the first 5 races, they were the only 2 winners. It was like, how, I know it was boring in the sense that no other victors, but how much longer can it persist? But definitely. Anyway, a couple more here. I'm not going to do best and worst coach marble this season because there's not really much to go on there. That was more for people who are in the Discord and kind of saw all that stuff.
Yeah, I was confused.
So if you were there.
Did the coaches actually get to do anything this season?
No, not really. It was more like a experimental thing, kind of like a role play thing, and
okay.
And we were kind of showing like, because and you kind of, I think that answer kind of came from like, hey, who do you think? What, like the way I guessed that, I forget who I said. I think I said like Gold Piston was the best coach because it's kind of like which marble started off not so good but actually really came back. Meaning that if there was a coach, the coach was probably doing a good job at training. So I definitely said Pink Pearl was not Pink Pearl. I said Gold Piston was the best coach, I think, and I said like Loose Wheel or Arrow Frog was the worst coach.
Yeah, I said Loose Wheel, but that was just based off of like Loose Wheel's performance. Like that like I was saying Loose Wheel was the worst racer. I wasn't really saying that Loose Wheel had the worst coach or anything like that. You know.
Yeah, and by far, Sea Turtles in the worst coach marble was by far the highest percentage marble over all together top 4 marbles. So obviously,
for worst coach for Sea Turtles?
No, not worst coach overall. But if you take just the top 4 marbles.
Okay.
Pink Pearl, Sea Turtles, Gold Piston, and Peppers, and compare the worst coached percentages. Sea Turtles had way more, and I can understand that because Sea Turtles slacked off towards the end. But as far as obviously overall worst coach, you're looking at Arrow Frog, Loose Wheel, Momona's Big Dogs. But yeah, we also had who was the underdog of the season. I'll just quickly go through this one as well. A lot of people said Gold Piston.
I think Big Dog.
I said Big Dog. Just
yeah, Big Dog.
Underdog, Big Dog.
I think I said Big Dog too, I use either Big Dog or Peppers.
I think Big Dog.
I
because I didn't see him too much,
I think it's
but
a
he
Big Dog
pulled through
overall.
sometimes.
But I think Gold Piston definitely satisfied that underdog role. I mean, Big Dog did in the sense that as far as underdogs go, he was kind of like really bad, and then towards the end, he had that second place finish, and I was going crazy. He finally broke that curse of being the only marble to not have a podium finish, so that was a big deal for him. And Gold Piston, though, was a true underdog, starting so bad, and then in the last 6 races coming back up and almost taking that victory. But kind of like the Bad News Bears, you can get so good, but you can't take that first place every time. For anyone who's watched that movie, it's a great movie. It's kind of like it's a good movie. I won't spoil it.
Wait, what movie?
Bad News Bears, the baseball movie.
Oh, all right.
Great movie.
I was like, what movie? Talking about movies now?
All right, and the last couple of questions, and then we're going to wrap up for today. We're at 54, so we didn't go that much shorter today, but that's all right. This one's not really... I mean, I guess you guys can respond to this if you want, but you don't have to. Though I asked how do they feel about the commentary, because I definitely wanted to get criticisms. There was one person out of the 390 that said Greg Woods is better, get Greg Woods, and screw that person. Okay,
oh my God.
Screw that person, whoever that person is. Just stop living. Don't actually stop living. Don't actually do that. Cut that out. Someone cut that out. But I mean that in the sense of, come on, guys, really? I'm not Greg Woods. I am who I am. I'm doing the best that I can. Actually, that was my first time ever doing commentary. In race 1, I had never really done commentary before. I think I did a couple practices, but that was it. So thank you to the people who at least noticed the improvement I made over the course of the 12 races, which was pretty evident. And to the person who says, get Greg Woods, thank you for letting me know that Greg Woods is indeed still much better, because it make me strive to be better.
Well, you can't really compare you to Greg Woods, because
that's what I was
when you
saying.
look at Greg Woods, he's a bit more like analytical with like some hype and like some like looking at like, oh my God, this happened. But he's more like generally like pretty neutral when looking through everything. Most people who are commentating have a little bit more energies, and that's what you have, and that's pretty much what I prefer, because it gets me hyped up and engaged. But same thing for Greg Woods. I like seeing the analytical points. So you guys are both good in your own sets. You can't put Greg Woods in Fubaka Marbles because he doesn't know the teams, and he's not going to know if he wants the same energy, if he should shift kind of energy, what he's supposed to focus on. But since you're already like used to that, you can't just like switch places. That wouldn't work for either YouTubers.
Yeah, plus he also has more experience, so it's not exactly really fair. It's like comparing an amateur voice actor to a seasoned voice actor with like 20 years experience. Like, of course he's better. He's done this more.
Yeah, and he's obviously a lot older, so his voice is a little bit more resonant, which is what I'm working on. But it's something.
Gotta get that deep voice, Brendan.
Gotta get that doctor voice. You know the doctor voice, right?
Voice.
yeah.
Actually, no, that's too gravelly. But
it will come. It will come.
You know what you're talking about, right? Like the
hey.
like the little gravel noise every time they talk.
Hello.
Sports, man. But you know what? I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my style. I'll actually compare my style more to Jack Nichol's. Kind of very excited the whole time, and I
like Jack Nichol's style. I like that hype.
More kind of invested in the play-by-play as opposed to like that. Leaving some silence, stepping back, and throwing in a very poignant stat, which, I think Greg Woods is really good to do that, especially in marble sports. But, you like what you like. And it was very good because most people in the commentary, some people just said it was really good because some people, they just like the commentary. But some people will also they give some good criticism. Like, hey, you actually improved a lot over this year, but, definitely work on not repeating a certain word so much. Of course, I got a couple saying, can you just tell the marbles apart? I got that one. A couple people giving some good tips and stuff. So overall, more positive than negative, definitely with the commentary, which is good.
Yeah, you did pretty well.
Yeah, and I'm going to be always working to improve. I mean, definitely, it's kind of like the podcast. You look at episode 1 of the podcast and episode 25, night and day, and it's the same thing with episode 1 of the commentary versus episode, race 1 versus race 12. Definitely a huge confidence boost and kind of better with the vocabulary and things like that. So we're just going to be going up from here. I'm sure Greg Woods had to start that way too. He had to get into it. He had to begin. He had to practice a lot. So there you go. Yeah. And then the last thing, and we can all pitch in on this, and then we'll wrap up for the day. I mean, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and we can really be getting into some Marble League stuff. And of course, GlassCar will be coming in a couple weeks too. So this is kind of our final nod to Marble.
I'm excited for GlassCar.
As well as our
me too. 3 weeks. And I think look at the banner on the channel. It says that June 2020 is when Marble League 2020 will be coming out.
So it's still a little bit away because they're doing the Formula E and things.
There's something called Last Marble Standing to be announced, which is
Last Marble Standing.
Yeah, they're really trying to put that filler in there. Sorry.
Battle Royale.
But no, if they do Battle Royale, I'm done. I'm not doing that.
That is a great idea.
We will not discuss that. If there's
Savage Speeders and Old Rangers are dropping out of the battle bus.
As much as I hate,
no, see, you say my Ricochet pun is bad. That right there is very bad. Well,
it was a one-time joke that I'm not burning into the ground, though. I'm peeking so many times.
Okay. Anyway, the final
I'm just
question
watching
was any
you guys
suggestions.
yell at each other.
Yeah, well,
as much as I hate Battle Royale games in general, I want to see a Marble Battle Royale. That's just hilarious. That's for comedic
I don't hate
effect.
Battle Royale. I just think they're too mainstream. So it's kind of
they're too mainstream. That's my only problem with it.
Half of me loves them because I love that thing of beating everybody else, but the half of me is they're mainstream. But any suggestions, feedback, ideas for next season was the final question. A lot of people said no. The most sent response in this category was just NO, followed by nope, and then none. And then none again, but with a lowercase n. So those were the most answered answers.
For improvements, I think I mentioned having more
of
variety in the track. I think that's what I mentioned.
Yeah. People said variety in the track. People said more Coach Marble relationship. People said remove the stupid audio at the end. I agree. It's kind of annoying. It cuts into my little bit of analysis at the end, and it's also stupid. I think it sounds terrible and stupid.
For what it sounds like it's the same person doing the line, but they pitch shifted.
It is.
And the funny thing is, it wasn't consistent across the Marbles. Okay, well, Pink Pearl is supposed to be a girl. Okay, well, we'll make Pink after 2 races where Pink Pearl is some random.
And they would always be like, "Oh, okay, friends, we won." It's funny, but I mean, coach Marble relationship, no golden lap, do the fastest overall lap. That was more if you want to blame someone for the golden lap, blame me, because when you see the ridiculous amount of time. The unbelievably ridiculous amount of time that you have to spend. Gel probably the same thing, but also Fubica, because he showed me sitting there calculating every time for every marble over every lap just to find the fastest lap for 1 point. For 1 point. One.
I thought it was 2.
That's 1. Count it. 1. It literally takes him hours for 1 point. So I was like, dude, listen, I think a good idea would be make one golden lap where the fastest lap's chosen from there. I mean, hate me if you want, and I know it's not as authentic, but I mean,
didn't he still calculate the lap times anyways?
I don't know. I don't know if he did every single lap
watching
time.
it, I'm pretty sure the lap time showed up every time a lap finished, so he still did it anyways.
I don't know. I think it's different. And it's fun to focus on once they're lap, this is where it really matters. This is where the teams have to focus on them doing the best. But I like the different approach that Fubica takes. It's not because in real racing you wouldn't have fidget spinners on the on the track, or you'll have 2 really big drops or other things. I like it's traditional like marble track, like when you have to have like Algodo racing, like how it was just different colors and there'd be like different spinners. I like how it's a mix of that and like realistic marble racing, and I think that's like what makes Fubeca Marbles unique.
All right, so I just checked this. He like in the races, like, he would show the times behind the leader. So that's not that. So he probably just maybe calculated like how much time passed between the leader and the last marble. So he didn't calculate their actual lap times. So you know what? That I guess maybe he did actually stopped calculating it. All right.
Yeah, and then my biggest correction would be please, and he started to do this actually a lot more at the end. He did this a little more frequently, but I need real-time placement updates. Also, little things, very little things, but they're big deals in my opinion. Fix the font on your scoreboard, make it a little bit more readable, so when I'm watching, it's not like weird and transparency and translucency, and I can read the numbers easily, so I can actually ramble off the split times easier. Definitely a real-time update of the scoreboard when all the marbles are passing. Even if he only did that for the top 6 marbles, that would be a huge deal, because one of the biggest things for me was that not only did I have 4 marbles that looked very similar, yes, I'm going to say it again, but I also did not, up until about race 9, I only had an update on the placements once per lap, so it would only update after the finish line was crossed, so I had to kind of not really know the marbles, and with 12 going at the same time, that's why it got so confusing. He did start to do it twice a lap, and I think almost real time in lap and up until race 12, so that was really helpful, but yeah, more of that, more attention to detail with that stuff, so that when a commentator's watching or a fan who's really into stats and real-time updating, it's kind of really evident and clear and smooth. So that would be my thing. Also, I think could be really cool track features. Obviously it's a lot of work, but still, shortcuts or, maybe some track has felt on it.
Shortcuts would be pretty cool.
Or
I like to see shortcuts.
That. Kind of more, like the drag reduction zone was good, but you need more ways to integrate that kind of thing where you slow down or speed up the marbles, but in different ways. Like patches of felt that act as little sand or something, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of stuff where it's the marble slowing down if he goes to the wrong side of the track. So that's what I would say as far as improvements. I think Marble Circus overall was good. Of course, it was the worst thing about Marble Circuits was the time in which Fubeca released it in regards to when JMR released it, and it's he didn't learn from his mistakes and is releasing GlassCar now. But that is a whole different drama. We like to talk more about the content and less about the political situation surrounding it. But overall it's good. I love doing the commentary, so that's why I'm still happy with it. So yeah, there's so many possible improvements, and there's more fan engagement that I think is going to be really cool maybe as the years go on. So yeah, gel, Fubeca. Gel is gel, and you can't beat gel, but certainly Fubeca at least adds more Marble Sports content to the arena. That's all I got, guys. You got anything else to say before we wrap up here?
Bye.
Amazing.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi.
Marbio Kart. Live chat says, try Marbio Kart. Sure.
Marbio Kart.
That would be cool. Only because within Marbio Kart, sorry, I'm actually going to do all of this.
How many variations is there of racing? He got Formula
honestly,
1,
though,
NASCAR,
in
go-kart racing.
Marbio Kart, sure.
Marbula
that
Kart
name's
or
going to be
something.
worked out. Marbula Kart, no, because it's Formula. But Marbio Kart, take that. You could actually do a lot more, because Mario Kart is known for racing, but plus a lot of other random stuff on the track for some reason, like items, of course, and
how would you get marbles to throw bananas
down and fast patches and crazy thing? Obviously you wouldn't do that, but there's a bunch of crazy things on the track always. There's something like freaking chain chomps going across the track, so that's the cool thing about Mario Kart. So if you did Marbio Kart, you could really extend upon that and bring races that almost are mini obstacle courses, but race courses at the same time. I think that would be really cool. But that's the last thought I got for you guys today. We are actually longer than usual today, even though I went into this thinking we were going to be shorter than usual. So figure that one out, everybody.
You lied to us.
But if you went this long, Thank you
How
for
could you?
listening in, guys. And we love marbles and stuff like that. So
Marbles.
we're gonna see you guys next week for more marbles. And
Marbles.
have a good week and have a healthy week. And we'll see you next week.
Roll on, Marvel sports fans.
Should